Hey, what's up guys? Gons here with another short video for the Face Like the Sun YouTube channel. I'm going to go ahead and go through a few more of the symbolic things that I noticed in Gravity Falls, the episode Not What He Seems, which is the episode that I talked about in the previous video that shows CERN and some of the interesting things going on there. Now, before I get into the CERN symbolism, I want to get into a couple of the characters and their symbolism that's part of the show. Now, first off, the female character Mabel is seen with a key on her sweatshirt the entire time, and she has an opportunity to close this portal at the end of the show, but she decides not to. What's interesting is that in Revelation 9 verse 1, and once again in chapter 20 verse 1, it talks about an angel that came down from heaven with the key to the bottomless pit. And so I think what they're trying to show here is that Mabel has the key. She is the key to the portal, the gateway, perhaps the bottomless pit. And I think this is true because earlier on, it shows Mabel, they're firing off fireworks here and they're kind of having fun, but she says, and this is like the kicker here of why I think this has something to do with CERN, okay? She says in a line, while she is launching this firework, she says, "I am the god of destruction." Boy, if that's not obvious, I mean, she pretty much says it right there. That's in reference to Shiva, the god of destruction at CERN. So again, more symbolism, obvious symbolism, showing that the writers of the show are making reference to CERN. So that's with Mabel. Now with Dipper, I'm not going to spend too much time on Dipper other than the fact that, again, he has the Big Dipper on his forehead. Perhaps that has reference to something in the show, or maybe something where the writers of the show are suggesting that maybe, you know, the entities that are behind the messages or the occult nature of reality comes from another star system that is somewhere, you know, in the cluster of the Big Dipper constellation. So I'm not exactly sure about that, but there it is. And then, you know, just to show the Illuminati symbolism, it's everywhere. You have this moment here when they're standing on the rooftop, launching their fireworks. There's the Illuminati eye. And interestingly, when the government comes to take Stan Pines away because he's, you know, caught stealing some nuclear substances, the government basically comes to take him out. And it shows the all-seeing eye with the triangle here. And then, you know, what's interesting is that the FBI agents, this ninja-looking guy, busts through and breaks the all-seeing eye glass there. What I think this is representing, and I could be completely way off here, I'm just speculating. What could be happening here is that this agent looks a lot like the guys from ISIS, you know, the black face mask and you know, the terrorist looking guy, and he breaks the all-seeing eye, indicating that perhaps what ISIS is doing right now in the Middle East, taking over a lot of the ancient artifacts and stuff like that, that's going to be part of the false flag or the manipulation of events in the public to usher in this opening of the portal. And so it's just very peculiar that the same sequence of events have occurred this past couple weeks. Going back real quick to Mabel, you know, you always have the sexual symbolism going on, and the phallus symbol is shown so many times in this episode, and I'm going to point it out here. First off, you got Mabel with the, you know, the boom here. And then you have Stan Pines when he is standing in front of his log cabin. Look at this light. I mean, come on, guys. This is not an accident. This is intentional stuff here. This is not something where they're going, oh, it's just coincidental, because this light in this shape of a phallus shows up over and over and over again throughout the episode. So there's that. And then when the portal starts to open, you have a red sun. The sun turns red. And again, well, first off, you have this phallus-looking symbol breaking again, floating up. You get several triangles breaking. But then you also have the sun that turns sort of red. And perhaps this is in reference to the sun going dark, or maybe even the blood moons that's coming up. Again, there, you know, it just seems to be too coincidental that all these things are converging. And then we have imagery of the goat when the portal starts to open. Of course, it's the year of the goat. Some say sheep. You know, I guess it's kind of confusing on which one it is exactly. I've had conversations about that, but you know, if it is the year of the goat, no surprises there. The goat has been part of the show for a little while, not a huge role, but definitely there. And now I think, you know, we're understanding why this animal is even part of the show. And then let me talk about the portal real quick and why I think this is absolutely talking about CERN. When the three occult books are put together and formulate this image under a black light, here's the message from the author of the book. It says, "The machine was meant to create knowledge, but it is too powerful." What does that sound like? The device, if fully operational, could tear our universe apart. That sounds exactly like CERN, guys. There are so many scientists that have come out and said, be careful with CERN, it could destroy the universe, it can create a black hole, all this stuff. I was wrong the whole time. It must not fall into the wrong hands. If the clock ever reaches zero, our universe is doomed, and then total global destruction, the Earth splitting in half. Again, what else could this be referencing in the real world if not CERN? And then, of course, we have the book that has the 6 fingers, and I went over that in the other video. And if you look at when this character or the real Stampines or whoever it is comes through the portal, you have 2 symbols that are lit up, and I'm sure there is meaning there. I'm not quite sure exactly what that means, but I'm sure there is alchemical properties there in that symbolism as well. So you have all the ingredients of occult symbolism here all over the place. You have portals, you have phallus symbol, you have the goat, you have the Illuminati all-seeing eye, you have Mabel, who has the key to the bottomless pit. And again, I don't think it's a coincidence that this aired on the same week that CERN is turning on, because this show doesn't air weekly. It only airs every once in a while. You know, every new episode comes a few weeks in between, so they definitely build the suspense. But again, the timing is way too impeccable. Why would this be happening this week? And so there's a lot more that can be said about this show. Obviously, every show that talks about the main storyline has a lot of symbolism in it. And there are some very interesting things going on. And I'm sure that Alex Hirsch, the guy who created this show, knows about it and has some interesting things to consider. Maybe he is also a Mason and he can't really say publicly because they are sworn to secrecy. So that's about it. I just wanted to add a little bit from the actual episode to show you guys that the connection is definitely there. It's not just make-believe. It's not just something that, you know, we're seeing or we're trying to make connections. No, there is a definite, obvious connection to CERN in a couple different places here. So that's about it. Thanks for watching, guys. God bless.